Hey guys, it's Thx, and today we're going to be talking about how to increase your FPS. Now there are many videos and suggestions out there on how to increase your FPS, but I'm just going to talk about the things that worked for me. So apparently WildStar is very CPU intensive, but a good graphics card can also help you. Alright, so starting off, to be able to track your FPS, you want to hit Alt F1, and at the bottom right of my screen you can see that my FPS is down here. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is hit Escape, and go to Addons on the top left, and then try to find the Who add-on and the Combat Log. So when you find Combat Log on Who, you double click, and then click this Do Not Load add-on. So unless you really want the Combat Log or the Who add-on, then I'd suggest you turn them off, because they've been known to give you like unnecessary drops in FPS. Another add-on from WildStar that causes problems is Target Frame, but I wouldn't recommend turning this off if you don't have an alternative, because usually you turn this off but you download an add-on to compensate for it that uses less resources. So we're going to talk a bit about that later on. So now we go to Video, and starting with Window Mode. So I've had some success with borderless windowed. I found that it gives like slightly better FPS, but by a very small amount. So you can test between borderless, windowed, and full screen to see what works best for you. So then up here, video presets. I use medium, even though my computer can handle a little bit better, but I want the smoothest gameplay as possible, so I go for medium. Also, I would actually go for low, but then my video quality would be like potato and really disgusting for YouTube, so that's why I'm like kind of forced to stick on medium, because that's what I can handle and be like play smoothly while not sacrificing too much quality. So I mean, if you've gone through this video and tried out all the suggestions and you're on medium and you still have very bad FPS, then as a last resort you'd go for low or ultra low, but hopefully it doesn't come to that. But then that may come down to what hardware do you actually have for your computer. Alright, then we're going to go to camera settings and we're going to put all these sliders low. So this is a low. Usually it starts off like as a default up here. So you're just going to drag it low. And view distance, that's just going to be like how far you can see into the distance. So you don't need to see that far, you know what I mean? Like as long as you can see a fairly good distance, just so you can see, oh, there's a cliff there. If I keep going, I'm going to jump off the cliff. So like, you know, that kind of thing. So view distance, same thing, clutter distance, all of that. Max camera distance, I'd keep it at max, so then you're not disadvantaged. You want to see if there's a creature behind you that you could not see if your camera was more zoomed in. Same thing with field of vision, I just keep that as is. Alright, then down here to advanced settings. The things to take note of is texture filtering, so usually by default mine was on anisotropic, if that's how you say it, but I went down to bilinear because it says that gives the best performance, and I didn't notice a big quality change. Then you've got dynamic shadows. Apparently this is a big culprit in like giving you bad FPS, so I suggest putting it on low or off. I put mine on off because I don't really need to see shadows, like I'm not too fussed about it, but obviously it looks better when you have dynamic shadows. Then you've got anti-aliasing, I'm going to pretend I know how to say that. So by default, even on medium, it put me to like Thx 3. And these things I think, show the smoothness of objects, makes things more smooth. So I dropped it down to Thx 1, and honestly I don't feel too much of a difference. When you put it off, you kinda do, so I put mine to 1. You can put yours on off as a last resort if it comes to that. Then you've got group spell effects, so I'd put this on low. But it does reduce how well you can see like teammates and like enemies' spells. So in PvP I usually set it on medium, just so I can see more clearly what they're doing to me and what my teammates are doing. So then it's just a little bit better for PvP. But I have found this to work a lot. Like if you have this on high or medium and you go do like a world boss and you have like 30 of you there all spamming your abilities and this is a bit higher, you might like disconnect from like the FPS, like it's intensive. So I think that's all that's like really noteworthy in here. I'm not an expert in like, you know, technical stuff and all this, what the hell does anti-aliasing Thx mean? But like this is what's worked for me, and I have done like a little bit of research, so this isn't just me like kinda just guessing, and it has worked for me. Like I've clearly seen the FPS difference, so hopefully it'll work for you as well. Alright guys, the next thing is WildStar's user interface, so that just what you see here where your abilities and all that kind of stuff is, the inventory and all that apparently uses a lot of resources, so it can put a strain on your FPS. So what I did was I downloaded Forge UI, which is this add-on. That's why all my stuff looks kind of funny now and different. But when I use this, I noticed the FPS increase straight away. So I think it's like completely worth it. It's kind of a pain to set up, but once you set it up once, then you can save that profile and you can load that profile on every single other character you ever play. So it's kind of like you just spend some time, set it up once, and then you're done. And I may do a quick guide on how to use Forge UI, just so then it's like easier for people. There are videos out there on how to do it and how to use it, but there are things that they don't mention, which I really wish they did, because it would have made my life easier, because it took a while to set up. One thing I will say though is don't let some places fool you. Like capital cities almost always result in like really low FPS. I don't know like what it is about them. And also during the peak hours when there's a lot of players in them, then yeah, your FPS will go pretty low. Mine right now is like 70-ish when I'm not moving, but it does fluctuate. And when I start moving around, it like really kind of drops in some places, you know, like when it changes to a different district or whatever. But overall, it's far better than like I had it before. So that's it guys, thanks for watching. And I'd like to know what you've done to increase your FPS, so if you have any tips or anything I haven't talked about, please share it in the comments. So that's it guys, stay cool, stay in school, stay all the way in school, but don't really stay in school, but hey, stay in school. Peace. This is Thx coming to you live from Thx's house. Alright, see you later.